I would like to start right off the back by saying I apologize in advance. When I started recording this video, it was about 20 minutes long. And I'm breaking it up into two parts, so this is part one. So please watch it all the way through to the end and stay tuned for part two. GamerDude 2088, and we're going to talk about how to improve your Widowmaker game today. Yes. And the first thing and the most important thing I would like you to do is to press start and go to your options if you're in game, or just go to your options menu and go over to your controls. When you get to your controls, you have this drop down menu at the top right corner with all heroes. You could, when you go to all heroes, it drops down and it gives you the list of every hero. If a hero has a star by their name, that means it's been a custom setting put onto that hero. Generally yours wouldn't be, because you just seeing this if you don't know anything about it. So we're gonna go down to Widowmaker, since this is what we're talking about, improving Widowmaker game, and we're going to set our sensitivities for her in particular. It's like I have a base sensitivity for everybody, and then I have special sensitivities for certain characters. Now right now I'm at a 50 on my main sensitivity, and then for her zoom sensitivity it's about a 60. Now this is a little bit on the high side. I know a lot of players play pretty low, but it took me a while because I started at my base sensitivity at a 40, and I had to gradually move that up, as well as her aim sensitivity being at like a 45-50. And it took me a while, and I'm steady moving up. I'm probably going to try to get it up to a 70, maybe higher. I'm not sure. It depends on how I do with it. And that's kind of the key thing that you want to go with. When you start out, you might even want to put yourself at about a 20. A 20 just to start off, just to get used to it, and then have your zoomed at about 25-30 maybe, just to get the feel of the character if you haven't used her and you want to start using her. And this is just some key tools that you want to implement, not only within Widowmaker but the other characters in the game too. So I'm probably gonna up my sensitivity a little bit just to do it, because it's probably about that time for me to up my sensitivity anyway for this character in particular, just because I want her to be able to see, get to the enemy, so I can get that shot as quickly as I can possible. And we're gonna get into getting into that level of taking those quicker shots and things of that sort. So let's get right into it. One of the most important things you'll like to ask yourself is, are you an aggressive sniper or are you a passive sniper? Now, being a passive sniper is typical camping in a certain area, taking your shots, trying to line up those really good headshots, having steady aim. Good having low sensitivity for that kind of play and that kind of style, because you're at a distance. But if you're more of a aggressive sniper, where you're more centered into the action, moving around, you're probably no more than 10 feet away from the enemy themselves, and that's a pretty close range for a sniper. You'll want a really high sensitivity to be able to have quicker aim. And that's just general basics on aiming as a sniper. Now, granted, if you're just starting out and you're not used to using a sniper rifle all the time in video games, because basic sniper tactics apply in almost every game for the most part. But if you're not used to it, but you just want to give her a try because you see that other people are using her and she's really good, then you probably want to be more of a passive sniper. You want to get more steady aim shots. You want to take your time. Now, I was telling my buddy Reaper Dragon 23, which I had showcased him in another video that's probably going to be in an iCard around this point, that when you plan as Widowmaker, the most important thing for you to do is to play Widowmaker. It just gets no better than that, because when I first started out, I mean, I couldn't shoot to save my life, and still to this day I have points and times where I just can't land a shot. And it gets really bad when you just can't get that target that you want to hit. So what really got me to it is just plan and planner. And I know throughout the first couple weeks, a lot of people were saying, oh, Widowmaker is a bad character to use when you're playing King of the Hill. But I always like to do the impossible myself, and I definitely beg to differ on that. What King of the Hill, I want to use her. And then I start seeing more people play her on King of the Hill, and then the people that's playing her were actually good. And it was like, wow, man, these guys are like demons playing with Widowmaker. And it's like they're playing on a map where it's like so much catastrophe happening that it's kind of unbelievable. So what do? You play Widowmaker. When you win, you play Widowmaker. When you lose, you play Widowmaker. On Dorado, you play Widowmaker. On Ilios, you play Widowmaker. On Nepal, you play Widowmaker. On Gibraltar Watchpoint, you get where I'm going with this. Every single game, you play Widowmaker. And that is how you're going to get better using her. Because being a sniper is not easy. Everybody wants to land those one shots, those headshots. Being an effective sniper is kind of more important. You want to get the headshot all the time, but sometimes it's better to take that body shot. Capitalize on a body shot, which you will see in some of these videos, that sometimes I'll take the body shot and then I end up getting a headshot right afterwards. But it's just making sure you put shots on the targets, because you don't necessarily have to get a kill. If you put shots on the target for your teammates to capitalize on what you're shooting at or what they're already shooting at, then you pretty much able to have a strong game. You can be a strong Widowmaker. You can go games where you're... Another really important aspect is to make sure you using your infrared sight or the UAV for the Call of Duty players, because a lot of people don't know the names of the abilities, but use that infrared sight because it makes shooting people a lot easier. You get the whole silhouette in red of the enemy team, not just for you, but for your whole team. So if someone flanking you, you can know who's flanking you. And at the same time, if you having a widow on widow battle and you already been doing pretty good, because chances are if you're doing good with widow, somebody's probably going to go widow to try to counter. You can have your sight up and shoot the other widow in the face, and they never knew it even was coming. They be sitting there thinking, like, how did they get me? I had the drop on them. They didn't see me. Oh, that's right. We playing the same character. Now, a big thing is taking your time with your shots. You'll see in some of this footage, even though it's kind of sped up, where it's kind of hard to really pay attention, a lot of times I wait for my target before I even take my shot. I take my time with a lot of shots rather than try to rapidly fire all the time, because I want to be able to land that perfect shot. If I can get me a decent full power shot, even if it's a body shot, if I can get a decent full power shot, that's more taken off the HP. And granted, I might get shot up during the process, but I might capitalize on a kill, or I might kill them and they kill me, rather than trying to rapid fire and hit nothing, or do bits of damage but wasn't enough for the team to pick up or for you to even get a kill, let alone. So just taking your time and lining those shots up, it's a key factor that you want to look into. You want to try to practice on. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And in the second video, I'm going to get into more tricks and tips that you can use, more key concepts for you to put into your arsenal to make you a better Widowmaker player, and things that I need to work on to make me a better Widowmaker player. So see you then.